Of your screen. City leadership making this decision just a couple of days after a situation went very differently in downtown Portsmouth, where protesters dismantled part of that monument, resulting in the injury, a serious one, of one of the people there. Let's turn to News 3 reporter Anthony Sabella, who is live this morning in downtown Norfolk. You've been out there for the past hour and a half watching the progress here. So what is happening right now?
Hey, Blaine. Well, we initially saw one of the crew members get taken up to the top of where the monument, where the statue is, but then he was lowered back down to the ground. So right now they're just talking at the base of the monument. In the meantime, police have taped off this entire section of downtown. It looks like a 2 or 3 city blocks maybe, all the way down to St. Paul's Boulevard, and I can't even see as far down as it's taped off in the other direction here on Main Street. But we do have some folks at the bottom of some of the buildings here watching everything that's taking place right now. The crew, it arrived maybe a little more than a half hour ago and quickly got to work getting things set up. Now we know that it was just yesterday evening when Mayor Kenny Alexander announced that they would start the process of moving this Confederate monument, starting with the statue that's at the top of the monument. This coming after that incident in Portsmouth Wednesday night, where part of that city's Confederate monument was pulled onto a protester. That man had to be taken to the hospital. He was stable as of last night, but a situation the city of Norfolk did not want to see happen here, especially with such a large statue at the top of this monument. So they fast-tracked really what was going to be a couple-month process to get the monument moved from this space. Initially, we were told it could be as early as August that it would be moved to either a museum or a nearby cemetery, but now fast-tracking this process, at least with the statue portion. The rest of the monument is expected to take several weeks to remove. But again, right now, we do have crews right here in the square surrounding the monument itself covered in spray paint from protesters. And we're just watching and waiting to see how quickly they can get this statue moved here. Again, they have blocked off Main Street. We've seen some cars towed as well. They're trying to create as much space for these crews, these trucks, to be able to pull the statue out of here. So we're going to stay out here and keep monitoring the situation, keep watching things. We'll see how long it takes for them to move the statue away from this area. We're live in downtown Norfolk. Anthony Sabella, back to you.
Q607, the peninsula this morning, where city leaders in Newport News are taking action in an attempt to prevent a similar situation like we saw in Portsmouth at that city's Confederate monument. You see, they covered it with tarps Thursday in an effort to prevent any sort of vandalism while they figure out what to do with it. It is located outside the old Warwick Courthouse in Denby. City owns it and says it is petitioning the State Department of Historic Resources to move it as soon as new laws for memorials go into effect on July 1st. Well, President Trump this morning is threatening to take back a part of Seattle where protesters continue a massive round-the-clock demonstration outside a now abandoned police station. As Laura Podesta shows us, police have largely withdrawn from that area.
Emotions running high in Seattle, where demonstrators have taken control of a police precinct and 6 blocks surrounding it.
Can we set a time and a date so that we can I can sit here with all my questions and tell you what the problems is, the pain, where the hurt is coming from.
Right. So that's why I'm handing out my card, because, hey man, I get you, bro. It's okay. I understand.
Yesterday, the chief of police visited the precinct, which officers stopped guarding on Monday. In a YouTube video, she said abandoning it was not her plan.
Leaving the precinct was not my decision. Ultimately, the city had other plans for the building and relented to severe public pressure. I'm angry about how this all came about.
President Trump is angry too, tweeting at the city's mayor and Washington's governor, who are both Democrats. Take back your city now. If you don't do it, I will. This is not a game. These ugly anarchists must be stopped immediately. Mayor Jenny Durkin said it would be unconstitutional and illegal to send military to Seattle.
One of the things this president will never understand is that listening to community is not a weakness. It is a strength.
The New York Times reports the people now living in this autonomous zone have 3 demands. 1, defund the police department. 2, fund community health. And 3, drop all criminal charges against protesters. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
From the JES First Warning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Maddie Kirker.
Hey, it's great to see you on this Friday, and we are starting off very soggy. I know it's the weekend pretty much, and we got to deal with the clouds though. Low visibility being reported here at the Virginia Beach ocean front. We have been tracking a lot of rain as well. Let's get to it now with your satellite and radar. We have been seeing basically several showers and even some thunderstorms rolling through since earlier this morning. The heaviest of the rainfall right now is moving through Virginia Beach, and we did have a very heavy downpour that moved through about 30 minutes ago. That was right along 264, where we have had some reports of ponding on the roadways. So just be really careful if you're going to be out there driving this morning with how heavy and how quickly the rain has been falling. Out to the west we go around the HRBT, a very steady rainfall falling from Hampton out towards Newport News. James River Bridge also seeing a little bit of that steady rainfall, so watch out for that. Hey, if you're heading out to the eastern shore, the southern portion at least, Cape Charles seeing some moderate rainfall this morning. That will continue to pick up. Down to the south we go towards Suffolk, where we started things off very stormy. Not as rainy now. We are seeing some lighter rainfall moving through Suffolk, and that'll be kind of the back edge of this rain as it continues to fill out. Now, where we have began to see some of the rain really pick up has been along the Outer Banks. Corolla down towards Duck. Scattered showers firing up as we speak. Those will continue to pick up and be more widespread as we go through the rest of the morning. So it is going to be a soggy start. The good news is it's not going to rain all day long. Your rain forecast for this Friday keeps it pretty soggy this morning through about lunchtime, but by midday today, a lot of the rain does begin to move on out, and you can see from 3 to about 9 o'clock with the mix of sun and clouds, our rain chance begins to go down to about 20%. Here's your high resolution forecast for the rest of the day today. This is around noon, okay? We begin to see some of the showers and storms pick up and intensify down towards northeast North Carolina, but a lot of the area begins to dry things out, including Williamsburg. 3 o'clock today, if you just hang around the house until then, we begin to see the sunshine break out from Virginia Beach to Elizabeth City. The eastern shore also seeing some sunshine. The last to see the rain will be across northeast North Carolina, the Outer Banks through about 7 o'clock, and then overnight tonight, drier air does begin to fill in. We'll start things off on your Saturday, maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but I think a good chunk of your Saturday is going to be dry. We're looking at just a mix of sun and clouds through Saturday afternoon, only a slight chance of rain, but that will be a completely different story, unfortunately, for Sunday. Rain chance going up to 70% for Sunday, and Monday looking like a washout as that rain chance goes up to 80%. From now through Tuesday, our rainfall potential could be between 5 to 7 inches. We are talking a lot of rain from now until then, so at least it'll keep the temperatures a little bit cooler. Out there currently, we are seeing a cool temperature of 68 currently in Franklin, and today a degree or two will cooler through the afternoon. Now it will still be muggy today, a mix of sun and clouds by the afternoon, so after a soggy start, at least that's the good news for the rest of your Friday. All right, your first warning 7-day forecast. Get ready for more rain. The soggy stretch starts Sunday and goes all the way through Thursday.
All right, and we have your first warning traffic paired with your first warning weather, and just to bring home what Maddie said, it is slick out there. So as you get ready to head out this morning, keep the low beams on and definitely leave a little bit earlier. Looking at our big picture Hampton Roads map, you can see there's quite a few crashes out there. Some of them we've actually seen a lot more than this actually, but they're, VDOT got to give them a round of applause because they're getting these crashes cleared very quickly considering the weather situation. All right, first up on the list, we're going to start off with 58 westbound in Suffolk. About a mile and a half after Wilroy Road, if maybe you're going to be going from Suffolk into Chesapeake or Portsmouth, there's a crash blocking a lane, and as you can see from the orange on the map here, it is slowing things down a bit, so be prepared for that. Now some live shots. We'll look at 64 westbound. This is right by Robin Hood Road. Left lane blocked with a crash. They're slowly wrapping that one up. It's not causing any major delays. There's one that's just been moved off to the side on 64 eastbound right by 4th View, so if you have to take Hampton HRBT over to Norfolk, be prepared. The one right by Rip Rap Road in its final stages, so they have opened up the lanes on the road, so good news. Coleman Bridge opened about 9 o'clock this morning and then 2 o'clock this afternoon. But again, as you head out this morning, give yourself some extra time. It is slick.
Good advice, Ted. Thank you. 6:17. Virginia's colleges and universities will begin to reopen later this year, but Governor Ralph Northam says first they have to submit plans for review. That's what News 3 reporter Samantha German is covering live this morning for us. So what do those plans need to include, Sam?
Yeah, Blaine, so the plans will have to address how the colleges and universities will plan on repopulating campuses, detecting infections, containing the virus, and possibly shutting down if there are any outbreaks. So News 3, we spoke with the director of the State Council for Higher Education, Peter Blake, and he says several aspects of college life will be different, so expect a new normal. Blake says students should expect more online classes, smaller class sizes, staggered schedules, and non-traditional food services. Athletic events and fine arts performances will also be different.
College life will change. The energy, creativity, and commitment shown by college and university faculty and staff will ensure that the learning experience will not be sacrificed.
And earlier this week, Governor Northam announced how K through 12 schools can reopen. For those details, just head to our website at WTKR.com. Live here in the city of Norfolk, Samantha German, News 3.
All right, Sam, thank you. We want to give you a glimpse of what school could look like for Virginia Beach students. We are learning that will include a hybrid of in-classroom learning as well as learning from home, all part of Governor Northam's guidelines. So the beach's tentative plan would have students in class 2 days a week and then virtual instruction or other assignments for the remaining 3 days a week. Teachers would have a work day on Monday, and then students would get the instruction Tuesday through Friday. Dr. Aaron Spence, the superintendent, says his district's also working on plans to cut class size, school bus issues, all to comply with social distancing and cleaning procedures. A lot to work through there. 6:19. After months of seeing millions of Americans file for unemployment, will the numbers finally be improving? Straight ahead, we'll take a look at where the economy stands now and how it could impact finding a job.
All right, welcome back. Time now is 6:23. We have been dealing with scattered showers and thunderstorms all morning long, leading to heavy rainfall for much of the area. As a matter of fact, into Virginia Beach, where we've seen some of the heaviest of the rainfall. We have to be watching out for the ponding and perhaps the swelling of some of the creeks and a little bit of the rivers as well. We'll be watching that behind the scenes, but a steady rainfall is actually up towards Newport News and Gloucester, and a little bit of a moderate rainfall now for Cape Charles. Now, it is not going to rain all day long. That is the good news as you're joining us this morning. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of the rain will be out of here by about lunchtime, and heading into the afternoon, we will see some mix of sun and clouds. So that'll be nice to see. Your Saturday is looking mainly dry, but Sunday another mess, and we are expecting even more rain through early next week. Yeah, but it's been pretty busy out there as far as tracking the radar, Ted. I know you've been watching out. A lot of wrecks this morning.
Yeah, and you know, they're happening so fast with all the slick roads out there, and we still have a few of them, Maddie, that are on the map right now we're going to talk about. One of them is 58 westbound, about a mile and a half past Wilroy Road, no longer blocking, and the delays have thinned out there in Suffolk. So good news, at least that one is slowly making some progress. But you notice we still have one on 64 close to Robin Hood. That one's on the westbound side. That's still blocking a left lane, so use caution there in Norfolk. There's also one right by Fourth View on the eastbound side. They moved that to the side of the road, but sometimes people are curious and slowly stopping and taking a peek. 64 at Rip Rap, that crash is gone, but it is just soaked out there this morning. So leave early, keep the low beams on, and definitely slow down. All right, bridge openings, we have two of them scheduled thus far, and they're both Coleman, 9 o'clock this morning and then 2 o'clock this afternoon.
6:25, you're getting some encouraging news when it comes to the number of Americans without a job. The numbers out from the Labor Department show about 1.5 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. While that is a large number of people not working, it also continues with that downward trend. Last week's report revealed businesses added more than 2 million jobs in May. The Federal Reserve says it's going to take a while for the U.S. economy to recover from the pandemic. Officials predicting unemployment will continue to fall, but still finish the year above 9%. That is far higher than the 3.5% we saw at the beginning of this year. All right, 6:26 is our time, and it is time for me to turn things over to the wonderfully talented Jessica Larche.
Oh, thank you. Listen, I'll take the compliments all day long. You know, it's a rough time, so anything to make you smile. And you make me smile, Blaine Stewart.
My goodness,
You do.
Feeling an emotion. I better leave before it takes hold of me. Jessica's up next. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.
Live from WTKR News 3. News 3 This Morning. starts right now.
It is 6:30 as you wake up with us on this Friday morning here at News 3. We begin with 3 things to know to start your day. And we begin with this breaking news right now. History unfolding in downtown Norfolk. City crews in Norfolk in the process of removing the Confederate monument on Main Street. We are taking a live look as we can see them on the crane working to dismantle and remove this monument that is on Main Street. This comes as Norfolk's Mayor Kenny Alexander just last night said the monument would come down today. News 3 reporter Anthony Sabella is live there right now. We will get a live update on the work from him in just a few moments, so stick around. Another top story this morning, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam says when students return to college campuses this fall, there will be new guidelines to follow in order to safely reopen. Each institution will have to submit a plan to reopen, specifically addressing how they plan to repopulate the campuses, detect and contain the virus, and possibly shut down if there are outbreaks. And right now, first warning radar showing a lot of rain pushing through Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina. The first warning on the unsettled stretch ahead and how it could impact your weekend plans. And we begin there this morning in the First Warning Weather Center with meteorologist Maddie Kirker in for Miles this morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jessica. Yes, it has been a mess out there with the rain. It's been heavy at times, leading to ponding on the roadways. So let's go ahead and take a tour, shall we? Some of the heaviest of the rainfall has now moved on out of Virginia Beach, which has been nice. But as you can see out towards Corolla, we're tracking some of that heavy rainfall beginning to move through from Corolla to Duck. A wide view of the radar here shows you some of the heaviest of the rainfall now pushing to the north of Norfolk. That's going to be moving towards Cape Charles and the eastern shore. We're also seeing some moderate rainfall, very steady, moving through Williamsburg, Newport News along 64. Down to the south we go into Virginia Beach. This is where we saw a lot of rain earlier that really soaked areas like 264 between Virginia Beach and Norfolk. So heads up, that is going to be kind of a slick drive out there this morning. And once again out towards Poplar Branch, just to the east of Elizabeth City, we'll continue to watch as showers pop up. It is going to be a wet start to the day. That does not mean it's going to stay that way, though, for the rest of the afternoon. Latest high-resolution forecast does keep showers and storms around for northeast North Carolina through about midday. But later on this afternoon, say about 3 o'clock, most of the rain is moving to the south of our viewing area. So locations like the south side of Hampton Roads beginning to see that sunshine break out, which will be really great to see. All right, your day planner for the day today, a soggy start, but we will see some sunshine later this afternoon. Your high temperatures today in the upper 70s. I know it'll be cooler, but it's still going to be humid today. Winds will be out of the northeast between 5 and 10. We'll have your full weekend forecast coming up next. But first, Ted, here, let's check on the traffic.
Yeah, and we've had a busy morning, Maddie. You know, you and I have been talking about it in the Weather Traffic Center. It's just been crazy. Lots of slick roadways out there, as Maddie was just saying. So head out this morning with some extra room between you and the other vehicles, low beams, and extra time, of course. Now, big picture map highlighting a crash that's in its very final stages, 58 westbound, about a mile and a half past Wilroy Road there in Suffolk. Also, we have one on 64 eastbound, right around the area of 4th View Street. That one's been there for a little bit, and some people are curious and stopping and taking a peek. I'll show you that one in a second. This is 64 westbound, right by Robin Hood, where a left lane is blocked with a crash there, and that's slowing things down a bit. But looking at that live shot, you can see that the roads are really soaked this morning from all the rain that we've had, so use caution. There's the one at 4th View. That's eastbound, so just after HRBT. 2 bridge openings scheduled as of now, and that's both Coleman, 9 o'clock in the morning for that one, and then also again at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Our time now is 6:34. Happening right now, breaking news. A crane has arrived at the Confederate Monument on Main Street in downtown Norfolk. The first steps in removing it. You are taking a live look right now as we can see the crane working to dismantle and bring the monument down. News 3 reporter Anthony Sabella has been live there all morning long as we've been watching history unfold. And Anthony, what are you seeing there in our crowd starting to arrive?
Yeah, that's right. We're starting to see some people just kind of under some of these buildings here with their cameras out, of course, filming what's going on. Just a handful of people, it looks like right now. But these crews have been out here since a little bit before 5:30 this morning. When they arrived, they quickly mobilized, and now just in the last few minutes, we've seen these 2 crewmen head up to this top where the statue is. They attached the harness around the statue, so it looks like they're going to get ready to remove it from the rest of the monument here in just a little bit. Now, initially, we weren't expecting to see this process begin until at August at the earliest, really. But because of what happened Wednesday night in Portsmouth, where part of that city's Confederate monument was pulled onto a protester, sending him to the hospital. Yesterday, Mayor Kenny Alexander said he didn't want anything like that to happen here in Norfolk, so he wanted to fast track the removal of the monument. It's going to start with the statue this morning. He said it would happen sometime today. Looks like they're just going to get it out of the way early here. And so the rest of the monument is expected to take several weeks to take down. We know if everything had gone according to plan, the city was determining whether or not to send it to a museum, if there was a museum that wanted it, or to put it in a nearby cemetery. We'll have to see if that is still the plan right now or where they're going to be storing this statue. But in the meantime, just kind of standing here waiting to see how long it's going to take for them to remove it and take it there to the ground. Now we know police, they've taped off a pretty huge chunk on either side of Main Street here, several city blocks it looks like, to make sure that this can be done safely, nobody gets in the way. We've seen some cars towed off Main Street, so there's plenty of space to remove the statue as well. So right now it's the waiting game as they attach the harness even more. They continue to attach the cranes to this statue. We're going to wait and see how long it'll take for them to remove the statue from the rest of this monument. But it looks like it's going to happen here pretty quickly. So we're definitely going to stay out here, keep you updated. So stay tuned. We'll send it back to you live from downtown Norfolk.
All right, Anthony, and as we are taking a live look at this monument coming down, I want to give a little background about the history of this monument. This was built between 1899 and 1907 by the United Daughters of the Confederacy. And actually built on Main Street, but that is the site of a former slave market. And these statues were erected again following the Civil War. And this has been the site of a lot of protest, a lot of emotion. Many people saying that the statue there in downtown Norfolk is representative of oppression, of white supremacy, and really hurtful to many Black Americans. So this is an emotional moment as we see this statue coming down in downtown Norfolk. Kenny Alexander, the mayor of Norfolk, saying it must come down now, and that is what we are seeing. And we're going to be checking in with Anthony Sabella throughout the morning right here on News 3. And when you join us on WGNT 27 after 7, watching history unfold in downtown Norfolk as this Confederate statue comes down. Meanwhile, the fallout in Portsmouth continues this morning as city officials figure out how to handle the vandalizing of a Confederate monument there. Last night at a special city council meeting, some members requested the FBI or state police open an investigation into the protest. There are still questions about who ordered Police Chief Angela Green not to arrest protesters who are vandalizing the monument. The police chief said it was a politician that she would not name. Here is what State Senator Louise Lucas and Vice Mayor Lisa Lucas-Burke had to say about a possible investigation, and people saying it was the state senator who ordered police not to make any arrests.
People have been coming for me for a lot of years, and I'm still here. So these haters are going to be haters. I am not going to be recalled. I am not going to be arrested. I am not going to be prosecuted, and the FBI is not going to conduct an investigation because I have a right to First Amendment speech just like anybody else.
I've had people to tell us that we've done the right thing, and then we have a couple people who are really upset about that, and I understand that, but we have to look at what the majority of people in the city of Portsmouth want, and they want to see the Confederate monument moved.
Now, Virginia State Police have identified the man injured when the statue fell. They say 45-year-old Christopher Lawrence Green from Portsmouth is currently at a hospital, but they have been vague on his condition, so we're going to work to get you that update. And we want to take another live look this morning at the Confederate monument coming down in downtown Norfolk. This is on Main Street. The monument has been at the center of much debate in the city about it coming down, and now we are seeing this in the year 2020, the Confederate monument coming down in downtown Norfolk on this Friday morning. Anthony Sabella is there live. We're checking in with him throughout the morning. Stay with us right here on News 3 as we watch history unfold.
From the JES First Warning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Maddie Kirker.
Well, it's great to see you on this Friday, and it's not the prettiest day outside. We've got completely gloomy skies and a lot of rain that has been falling. Let's switch over now to our radar. And again, we had a lot of heavy rain earlier this morning. Thank goodness a lot of this rain has now since kind of pushed out to sea. But let's go ahead and take a tour. Still a little bit of rain that's falling into Virginia Beach right now, mainly the southern portion towards the Princess Anne section of Virginia Beach. A lot of rain falling on the CBBT right now as you're transitioning. If you're going to be moving up towards Cape Charles, there will be some heavy rainfall. We've also been tracking very steady rain from Hampton on the HRBT and up towards Newport News. Again, here's Cape Charles. Got some heavy rainfall about to move in. That storm will be moving in from the south. And down to the south we go. We are beginning to see rain pick up in intensity from Corolla down towards Duck and into Kill Devil Hills. It is going to be a pretty stormy afternoon for the Outer Banks, but I think a lot of the area will begin to see some of this rain falling apart as we go through the rest of the afternoon. So it's not going to rain all day. Again, that's the good news. Definitely a rainy start with those scattered showers and storms, but the second half of the day, that rain chance going down to 20%. Here's your rain forecast. As you can see through noon today, a lot of the area, including Williamsburg, begins to see the sunshine. So just a couple more hours before that sun does break out. We will see scattered showers and storms continuing through the afternoon and early evening hours for spots like Elizabeth City and to the Outer Banks as well. But the south side of Hampton Roads, notice we begin to see the clouds breaking apart and sunshine. So great way to end this Friday as we head into overnight tonight, looking mainly dry. And your Saturday also looking mainly dry. We may see a stray shower early on in the day tomorrow morning, but the second half of the day, lots of sunshine. Tomorrow is the day to get outside because rain chances once again going back up heading into Sunday. Rain chance up to 80% by Monday, Tuesday a 70% chance. So the next couple of days we'll get a little bit of a dry stretch before this rainy weather once again picks back up, and very rainy indeed. As a matter